All right, Milton, I have no idea why the studio is so cold today.
Well, we're talking Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, so producer Graydon and I thought we would, set the vibe in here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to help.
This is ridiculous.
It's another episode of the Finding Good podcast with Frozen Kevin and Milton. Well, welcome back to the Finding Good podcast, and it's gotten a little bit warmer in the studio.
You. No, I appreciate it. You did a really good job during that short 10-second intro. I was impressed.
Yeah, we do miracles around here.
That's right.
Well, we're talking Ghostbusters. I don't know what number this is, 4, 5, 6.
This is like 4.
Yeah, the Frozen Empire, fun movie.
Yeah.
If you're into the Ghostbusters franchise, this one feels like kind of connected back to the originals. It has that feeling, back in New York, doing the whole building, blowing things up. So it was a lot of fun. And, the technology is a little bit farther along. And
you got drones now capturing ghosts.
Yeah.
So cool.
So we had a good time watching this movie.
Yeah, I do think, there was like a Ghostbusters in between. Like, remember that one with all the ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that count?
Why wouldn't it, Kevin?
Well, because it has nothing. Because these two movies haven't referenced it at all.
If women want to bust ghosts, they can bust ghosts. It's fine.
Wow. I think they literally got ghosted, I think is what happens. No one remembers it at all.
Okay, mark this as the worst Finding Good podcast movie joke ever. Okay.
I don't know. I had a good one in the other episode, too. Yeah. You know what? You just keep trying. You keep putting yourself out there.
You got to do that. It's okay. Be brave. Put it out there. The jokes, sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. Yeah. It's fine.
And sometimes they're stupid and over the top. Like this movie. I think we're talking about this movie. It does. Yeah. It felt way over the top.
For sure.
But then when was the last time you watched 1 and 2?
But, it's been a while.
Okay. Because there was like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and then there was like the Statue of Liberty walking down New York, and
right?
A painting that got possessed, and a river of ooze. The whole series is ridiculous.
Come on, it's about people capturing ghosts and making jokes about it. It's gonna be over the top.
Yes,
but it can be fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the old cast comes back.
Bill Murray's great.
Oh my goodness, Bill Murray
so funny.
Is an American treasure.
It's so
Bill
true.
Murray,
Yeah.
And just his face,
right?
Just like
I don't think
he's throwing the pen at the guy and making the guy angry.
Right,
we have this other aspect that we didn't have before. Like there's these defenders of humanity, the fire lords or fire gatekeepers or something like that. And
well, it's kind of like the first movie. There was the Keymaster and the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
So this one there was like the fire and ice and
yeah. No, so it's well done. Great acting, and I'm a sucker for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, he's funny. He just says the right thing at the right time, and I just love watching him in this movie as well. The kids are great.
Kids are great.
So yeah, it's a fun movie if you don't go in with like, oh, is this an Oscar worthy? No. Just enjoy, eat your popcorn, eat your Milk Duds, and sit back and laugh.
It's gonna be fun. Milk Duds. Is that your candy of choice?
Oh, if I'm doing candy, I don't do a lot of candy, but if I decide to do it and it's available, yes. Regal, bring Milk Duds back, please, because they have peanut butter M&Ms, which is not a close second, but I can tolerate.
So I took my boy to a movie the other day, and he invited his friend.
Okay.
And his friend comes out of the house, and he's wearing the most baggiest jeans I've ever seen.
I know where this is going.
And they're like, take us to the dollar store. Why? Because we got to load up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we got to go to the dollar store and load up. So I'm okay. You bring a box of Milk Duds in to the movie or something. I'm not kidding you. They probably bought $20 worth of snacks. He walked out with a full can of Pringles.
Whoa.
Like, where are you I don't want to know.
Wow.
Like a bag of pretzels. Like, not just a snack shack. A bag of pretzels and a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi.
Come on. I don't believe it.
I'm 100% serious.
I don't believe it.
These pockets were like construction pockets. He had this giant thing from here down to Anyway, he had a ton of food shoved in his pants.
So many questions. The 2-liter bottle, that just. I mean,
100%.
are you just jamming that thing, or do you have cups? What? How do you do this?
15, right? So I mean, the brain has not fully developed.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't this a federal offense of some kind to bring food into a theater?
Oh, and I forgot the most important part. And I did not go to the movie with the boys.
Oh, you just dropped them off.
Yeah, a wiffle bat and a ball.
What?
Because they were going to play wiffle ball after the movie. Basically, all this to say, and apparently he left that on the counter. He didn't bring that in with him. But basically, all this to say, buy a box of Milk Duds and sneak it into the theater already.
I don't know. My conscience would just haunt me. Like, I feel like I'm cheating somebody or stealing something. I don't know. There's something wrong with me. I don't know if I grew up a Quaker or something. But
What's wrong is paying $6.75 for a box of Milk Duds. Anyway, we got off on a really strange tangent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, snacks are important when you go to a movie.
It's a true story.
Yeah. But we're talking Ghostbusters.
We are, yes.
Afterlife or Frozen Empire or whatever it's called.
And the last episode of the Finding Good podcast, we talked about Dune.
Yes.
And we had this whole conversation about how working together and how your dreams kind of happen better with community.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue that discussion on this one.
Yes. So I loved, there was a moment, and it was, without spoiling the end of the movie, there's 2 groups of people, and they're fighting this evil horned thing, whatever, that's bringing ice all over the world and killing people.
I believe Bill Murray called them tall, dark, and horny.
Yes. Yeah.
Because horns.
I'm not sure.
It's a horns on the head.
I got you. Like, we don't have to sit on the joke.
Like there were 2 of them.
Let it go, man. But the point is that there's this moment they're fighting this evil force, and you have the new Ghostbusters, this new family that's coming in, and they have the blaster, the proton blaster, and the only way that they could, I don't know if aim it correctly or hold it or resist the forces of evil, is they all have to kind of grab this thing and hold it together. And at the same time, you have the old Ghostbusters down below in the basement where the trap is, the big trap holding all the ghosts. They have to pull this lever that is, I don't know if it's stuck or it's bent or whatever, and unless they all do it together, they're just not able to. And that beautiful moment of like these 2 groups of people relying on each other to be able to accomplish the goal and hopefully, defeat this evil force. And I just love that whole teamwork aspect, because it's so important. We work so much in team in what we do that we've found the value of it. In fact, I don't know how else to work, honestly.
It won't work. Not with something like what we do. Not only here at the podcast, but at the station. Mm-hmm. We work for Project 88.7, and there's also a couple radio stations and a whole digital department, and you're taking care of the ministry side of it, and we have an on-air team. It's a circus. It's a great circus. And I'm not used to it. Like I feel like I'm the outsider coming in learning what it's like to work with people at age 45.
Yeah.
Because I've been kind of on my own for a long time. And so it's really new to me. I love it some days. But I think it's really amazing to be surrounded by people who are all in all the time on specific goals, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, and I feel bad for people who don't have that, and I wish they would find it. One of the worst things I've ever heard in ministry is when someone has told me, "I feel all alone."
Yeah,
it's like, it's such a tragic feeling. Coming from my upbringing, which was I grew up in a Hispanic family where everybody's up in all of your business.
Really?
Okay, which can be annoying, but I'd rather that than being alone. And then, of course, being in ministry, working in church work, and where you have to rely on people, because if not, you just get burned out. And I've tried to do ministry on my own, and it's not fun, and you're not as effective in doing it. So when I hear someone say, like, I just feel all alone, the first thing I want to do is say, we got to get you plugged in somewhere. We got to get you somewhere where there's people, and that people that will love you and support you, because unless we figure that thing out, I don't know how many Bible verses I can tell you that are going to help you. I don't know how many spiritual thoughts I can share with you that are going to get you out of this funk. You gotta have that team around you to help you reach whatever goal you have for your life.
You use the word burnout.
Yeah.
Which I think happens a lot in business yet, but also in ministry. Mm-hmm. And why is that? Why does burnout happen at all in ministry?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you my experience. In a church that I was a pastor at, there's kind of this idea that, the pastor's here, so he's going to do stuff. He's going to do the stuff that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And there's so then I landed at this church, and I've already learned that the collaborative process is really important if we're going to have long-term success. So a lot of decisions were being, hey, we got to do this, we got to decide this, we got to go in this direction. And it was like, what do you want to do, Pastor? Like, just make the decision. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And like, oh, really? Like, and I think, we just look at certain people who are in certain positions, and we just assume, well, that person's going to do it, like, and they're equipped to do it. And yes, that might be true, but in the end, isn't it better if we all contribute to this process and we all do it together? So it took many years for me continuing to say, like, no, let's talk it through, let's figure it out. And I'm trying to make less and less decisions as an individual and make more and more decisions as a group. And that helps me not to burn out, because I can decide everything and I can do everything.
Right.
But at some point, I'm going to get to the edge of where I can't anymore.
So what I hear you saying is, as a leader, you empower others to make decisions. You empower others to come alongside you and what you're doing versus always leading them.
Yeah, but here's the trap. Because a lot of time we think of empowering is I have to give that person everything they need so that they can do what needs to be done. And there's some truth to that. Mm-hmm. But could it be that everything that person needs, they already have? And all I have to do is get out of the way and let them figure things out as they go.
Interesting.
And that's kind of been my approach, which is trust that the team has the knowledge, the resources, and the ability to make this decision and to move forward with this next thing that has to happen. So I don't even have to speak into it. I just have to not speak into it so that the table is set for them to have to step in and do the thing.
So I don't get it. Like, so you're saying collaboration is not collaborating?
Sometimes the collaboration is me not speaking into it so that they know they can do it.
Okay.
Right? Because the minute as a pastor, I realize the minute I speak into this thing, it's automatic, the pastor said it, so let's do it that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to discern, when is it that I actually have to speak into it, and when is it that I can just shut up and let them figure it out?
Yeah, really good advice just as a pastor, and I'm guessing we probably have more leaders and just team leaders watching than pastors, but any position really in life where you're working with other people, that's great from a leadership perspective. What would you say to the worker who's getting burned out, that the person that's kind of helping execute, and how can they better collaborate and not get burnt out themselves?
That's hard. I don't want to act like I know a great answer for that. There are bad situations in work where, I guess, I don't know. I'd have to analyze it. Each situation would seem different to me, but because it could be that the work environment is just a bad one, right? And it's not a place where good collaboration can happen, and you're just being dumped on, and somebody has to do the job, right? Or else the company is going to fall, or things are not going to happen. So, I don't know.
Well, here, let me apply it as I think about it too.
Okay,
my own question too, to apply it to the movie, back to the movie.
Yeah.
You had Phoebe?
Phoebe.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. Phobia.
You are really bad at names.
I wrote Phoebe. Yeah. So Phoebe, one of the characters, like she's 15. She's not able to be a Ghostbuster by age.
Right.
The family has no choice because of legality. They have to kick her out.
Yeah.
And so she's now no longer working as part of the team.
Yeah.
But she's massively smart and she's got a lot to contribute and she's wanting to do her thing, but she's not able to do what she wants. So she goes off on her own and she chooses to be alone. And she could choose to be part of the team in a different way.
Right.
Behind the scenes or be on the radio or do
answer the phone.
Do something. But because she can't be who she wants to be and in the pole position, so to speak, or with the action, she feels worthless. And so she gets completely isolated. She isolates herself and goes into a pretty dark place that almost destroys the entire world.
Right. A little extreme example, but yes.
That escalated quickly. But I think you saw her redemption when she was able to let her family back in.
Yeah.
And she was able to work. And I think that moment that you started with, the moment of everybody coming around and holding, she couldn't do it herself.
Right.
That was her pack. She tried it. I got this. I'm smart enough. I figured it out. I'm going to do this. Oh no, I don't got it at all. And I'm in trouble. And then she allowed her family to come back and surround her, and then they were able to go. So yes, it's not only working together, it's letting other people surround you as well. And I think that's what I would say to the worker.
Yeah, I'd say, what I find is there seems to be a lack of communication. So I'm feeling burnout in my work. I'm feeling like a lot is being asked of me, but I also feel the weight of the responsibility that is being put on me, and I don't want to let the team down. Mm-hmm. I don't want to look like I can't do my job, right? So I'd rather grin and bear it and do the best I can and maybe deliver 70% instead of 100% and kind of fake it, right? Well, what would happen if you just went to your team or went to your supervisor and says like, hey, this is a lot, and I want to deliver well, but under these conditions, I can't.
Right.
And I need help, or I need something to change, right? Can we find a way? Can we put our heads together, because this is too important for it to just be ignored? And if I keep going at this pace, you're not going to have me, long term, and I want to be here long term. And I think we're scared of that conversation because we assume that it says something about us, negative. Yeah. That like, you can't do the job, you can't handle the job. Well, maybe the job shouldn't be handled by one person, right? And I love the term push pain up, which is send the pain up to the people who are above you so that they are forced to think and reflect and analyze and then say like, oh, this could be better. Let's find a better way. Yeah. Because I don't think any supervisor wants to see an employee burn out.
No.
In the end, that hurts the supervisor because now I have to do that job, or I have to now hire somebody and it's going to be 3 months until that can be done, or whatever the circumstances brings. So can we talk? Can we share? And in Phoebe's case, instead of let me go off on our own, she maybe should have communicated. And I think she tried, but the problem is nobody was listening.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the problem if you're in a supervisory role, you got to be willing to listen.
Listen to your team, yeah.
Listen to your team, open yourself up. And I think supervisors, this is the other problem. When I hear an employee tell me, oh, I'm sucking wind, this isn't working, I automatically ascribe that to myself. Oh, I'm not doing my job as a supervisor. That's why you're suffering. Why do we always have to pin everything on ourselves?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Sometimes it's just the way it is.
Right.
And if we honestly communicate and try to help each other, I think it could get better and burnout can be alleviated.
That's good. I do think a good measure of a team is at that end moment, like that, it's go time, the fourth quarter. Do you execute well?
Right.
Beyond all the stress and all the stuff that didn't happen right and all the T's that didn't get crossed and all that stuff, at the end of the day, did you come together and execute a goal? And I think if you can say yes, you're onto something. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. You killed the monster. You all came together. You,
right.
You saved the ghost Hopper, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It happened. You did it right.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, and we've seen this in our field. You know, we do big events sometimes. We do big concerts, and not everything goes right.
Right.
You know, I remember that we had that one concert where the rain just came, and we had to adjust a lot, and I think it shows that the team was in a good place. We had learned to communicate well, where everybody just knew what pieces they could pick up, and we adjusted. And you know, did it go as planned? No, but we were able to execute that huge concert, and you were in charge of the vendor booths and all that stuff. And boy, that was hard. It was hard work, but at the end, I felt good. Like I felt like, man, I worked hard, but look what was able to be accomplished because we communicated. We didn't feel like anybody was doing more than anybody else, and we knew what the goal was. And I think that's another one is like, do we know what the goal is? Do we know why we're here and what we're doing? That makes a big difference too.
It's good. My favorite hashtag.
What's that?
Go team.
Go team. Is that really your hashtag?
It is. I say it a lot. And I think it's a good reminder. Go team.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing it by your own. I'm not doing it by my own.
No.
We're doing this together. And I'm on your team, you're on mine. That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
There you go. All right. It's Ghostbusters. What is it called? Frozen Empire. I forgot.
Your jacket, remember? The
yes,
cold,
okay,
the snow?
that's right.
Yeah.
It's so nice in here. I forgot. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, we've got these brand new mugs. Ooh. And if you want to leave a comment on an episode, we are going to be giving one away here soon. So make sure to get in on that. Like and subscribe so you know when new episodes hit. And we will see you next time on the Finding Good podcast.